Okay, so now to put the finishing touches on our little project, we're going to add music and sound, and then we're going to tighten this all up and finish it off. Now, this hold frame at the beginning, we know we don't need to have 4 seconds of this blank screen. So these first two titles, I'm going to move to the side here, and I maybe want the video to start moving. You start seeing the side of this thing as soon as the camera starts moving. All right. Now, let me see what happens if I just trim the left side of this clip right here. Still, the hold frame is right there, so that's good. Now, I'm going to add the default transition to the beginning. Sorry, we're supposed to be doing sound, but this is something I should have done in the last lesson. All right, so I've got like 1 second of this video. Could be even shorter than that. So I'm gonna ripple edit that back here. All right. Scott's editing class presents the missing LOL. All right, let's find which one of these. I'm going to go over to my project panel. Actually, under Window Workspaces, I'm going to put this back to editing, or I could even do audio, but I'm going to go back to editing. And I'm going to go to my project panel and collapse the footage bin, expand the music bin, and listen to some of these. So let's listen to some music. Okay, so we got some sound there. I'm going to use those later when Kai's looking from side to side. All right, and that's going to be a big reveal. Okay, that might be a good one because it's a mystery, the missing LOL. Sunny. So this might be a good option for the end. All right, so let's go. I'm going to go for Hectic Affairs. Now, you don't have to do this. You can make your own decisions, do your own things. I'm just showing you some ways that you can put music into your video. Now, the reason why I wanted to tighten this up at the beginning was because, do you remember how I nested this? So if I go to my master, I nested all this stuff. And you can see there's the Scott's editing class titles. It's all mixed down, but I added additional color correction to this in Lumetri. And I also added an effect to this, some additional compression, the multiband compressor. So if I double click on this and open this back up in this timeline, add music here, then it will also add that compression here. So the music will be in here. This is one kind of convention that some people use. It would be probably a little bit better to put my soundtrack in here. And really sweeten my audio on the track level, because all my audio is down here on this track. I could add, make sure that everything sounds good, and then add music and sound effects down here and mix them all together. And when I say mixing, if I go to my workspaces, go to my audio, this will bring up my mixer and allow me to change the volume on the track as it plays along. So I can further fine tune all my audio, but we're not getting that deep into it for this project. We'll probably do that for another project, but for this project, I'm just going to go to my workspace, go back to editing, and then just drop this Hectic Affairs track. Whoops, go to my master, drop my Hectic Affairs track right here at the beginning. And now let's listen to it.
Have you seen my album collection?
Okay. Now we definitely probably need to have that track done playing by the time this conversation starts happening. So let's listen to other parts. I'm going to expand this down a little bit so I can see the audio a lot better. And I can see there's the building suspense. It does that 4 times. And then it does this type of music for 4 counts of 8. And then we have, let's listen to this, see what this sounds like.
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
Okay, I am going to try, I'm going to mute my main track, and I'm going to do, try to incorporate this end and see how the ending times out with the music. Okay, let's listen to this. All right, so I'm going to cut this right here, zoom in. This is a second count of 8. Boom, cut that right there. I'm going to zoom back out, and I'm going to keep this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, cut. All right, so I'm going to go in there, cut right before that, zoom back out, select this, delete it, and then drag this here, and butt it up against. Now, this is your music editing course. One thing you can do is I'm going to drag this down to the other track. And I'm going to find the place where this beat matches up. And this is one place where your audio units can come in handy, because if I go here and look at audio time units, then I can zoom way, way in, and I can find exactly where that beat is going to match up. And it's about right there. Okay. Now, if I stick that over the top of it, it cuts this one, but that's okay. Hopefully when I play this back, it'll match up. And again, I talked a little bit before we started getting into transitions that one thing you can do to soften these cuts is you add the default transition, apply default. I can't remember what I think it's, is it Command Option D or Option D? Command Shift D. Oh, Command Shift D is the default transition for audio. All right. See, if you just add like a super, super short transition, even like 2 frames long, it'll soften that cut. Now let's go to the end and see what happens at the end. Now we need to mix them together. We definitely, by the time Eva starts running out of the closet, we need to turn this down.
Have you seen my album collection?
I would really like that to time up so that right before she says Kai. So So let's move it. So we have an extra count of 8. All right. So we had, if you were watching the audio levels, when she comes out the door, it actually goes a little bit too loud. Now I don't want to turn down this. It's probably a little bit better if between here and like, it's okay to have the music nice and loud at the very, very beginning, but then once anything's going to start happening, I'm going to turn this down. So I'm going to add a keyframe to this envelope right here, and then I'm going to add another one right here and turn this down to like negative 2.5 might do it, but it's still too loud. We can go in and tweak that just a little bit. So we can go in to where she opens it up and bring it this way so it's not quite as loud. Okay, let's go back to the LOL master and take a look at it. There, see, now it's not peaking. Now, I'm going to go in, and now that we know transitions, I'm going to kind of sweeten up the background noises and stuff on some of these shots, and just listen to this.
Kai, have you seen my LOL collection?
So we have a change in the background sound from here to here. So I'm going to just turn this one down. And I'm going to roll this way just to see what the sound is like in here. Okay, so this shot has a ton of weird background noise too, so let's just turn that down. This one has a change in background noise as well. So these are all actually the on-camera audio, so I'm going to turn them all down.
Nope.
This one also, if you hear that, there's like a lot of echo. Let me just go double click on this one and make sure that the only audio really is coming from that microphone.
Nope.
Okay. I want this to sound better. So here's a little editing trick with sound effects. I'm going to go into the recordings. I'm going to right click on this audio and tell me to reveal it in the project. It didn't. Reveal in project. It's supposed to highlight it over here. Dang it. All right, so anyway, we have this nope.
Nope.
We also have this one.
Nope.
That's the one we're using, I think. So what if I like this,
Nope.
the tone of this performance better?
Nope.
Oh, that's right. We extracted that in.
Nope.
All right, so let's try this one. I'm going to set an in point here.
Nope.
Out point there. Drag this down to the other. And line this peak up so that we can actually change her performance. Add some keyframes to this one because we don't want to keep this one. Whoops. Getting crazy with my keyframes. Now we can actually alter her performance.
Nope.
I don't know if that matches up very well.
Nope.
Not so much. Well, it was a good idea. I'm just going to undo all that. If her mouth matched up a little bit better, then that would work.
Nope.
It's pretty
Nope.
loud right here. It's very loud right there. I'm going to just turn this down a little bit right where she's saying that.
Nope.
Okay, because it was just a little bit loud for my taste. All right, so let's go back to the edit. Keep listening to it.
It was right there. Right there. Right there. And now I don't know where it is.
Okay, so we have more background noise that we want to like, even though it's silent, it still has stuff in it that we want to use. There's some rustling in there. Whoops, I gotta remember to hold down Option so I only move the audio. Okay, I'm going to turn this down because even though it's the on-camera audio, it's kind of got a lot of loud rustling. So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit to make it sound a little bit better. And then same thing with this one. Let's add the default transition to that audio. And then turn this down so it's not quite as loud. All right. Now I want to make sure that there are no breaks in this audio at all. So I don't want this break to happen. I don't want this break. So if we go into our audio again, see all this blank stuff where there's like nothing? That's still technically background noise. So if I select this, in and out, drag this down here, I can use this audio to patch in like any breaks in the audio. See how this is dark? It's all dim. I am going to copy this one and then go here because remember we have a multiband compressor on this. So I'm going to paste those attributes. Not that clip actually. Doesn't look like it. Let's go into my effects controls. Find one of these with the multiband compressor on it. I think I've got to go inside one of these. There it is. So I'm going to copy that. Close that panel, go back to my edit, right click on this, paste attributes, multiband compressor. Okay. And then I'm going to zoom in and just listen. All right. It is making, there is some like clicking sounds and stuff in here. But now to get that to be background noise underneath all these shots, I'm just going to let them go right there. Now select all three of these. Whoops. Hold down Shift. Select all three of them, Command Shift D to apply the default transition. Shorten this one to match up with this. Command Shift D. So like hold down Option, drag this way. This is really just tightening up these audio transitions.
Nope.
It would be better to have a cleaner background, but
Nope.
you know, I don't want to bore you all day with finding like the perfect background sound. So we'll just have this work for now. All right, and let's grab this again, holding down Option to copy that over, and let's plug this little hole up. Shrink this, add Default transition here and here. See, this is one of the reasons why I like to make my default transition shorter. All right, and okay, we're looking pretty good. Now let's finish our soundtrack. Let's go into the master, and listen to the ending. I want to check on my ending sound here, and I think I want to try and use this. Okay, let's see if what would happen if I time the swelling in this music with the end of the video. Just see where it all times out. So let's bring this back here. We would maybe want it to happen. Let's get the rest of this in here. When she sits down, yeah, maybe right there.
Nope. It was right there. Right there. Right there. And now I don't know where it is. Sorry, I just can't help myself.
Okay, now we can also find that frame where it goes black, and we can really have like the beat land on when it goes black. Now, I definitely want to turn this music down because the music by itself, if you look at this, it's too loud. So I'm going to turn this down for when it gets all the way loud. But I want to add an envelope here for when it gets, or a keyframe on the envelope there. And consider how much noise this music is providing over the rest of this scene.
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
Let's listen to it here.
It was right there. Right there. Right there. And now I don't know where it is.
So I'm going to add another envelope to this so that we can turn it down even farther, down to like -8. Now the track isn't very loud, but I do want to just add some sound.
There. Right there. And now I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Myself.
It's very optimistic sounding music for a kid that just got disappointed, but yeah.
Nope.
All right, now the thing that I wanted to do here was
My LOL collection.
add a little dun 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 when she looks this way, which is these like orchestral hits. I'm going to put them down on this other track just so I can time them out. Turn them down. I'm going to cut this one right here because I need it to be shorter. And, whoops. Default transition that. And now add the other orchestral hit down here. But we got a lot of overlapping stuff, so just add it to the track below.
Nope. It was right there.
And I'm going to shorten this one too, because it's just too long. Oops. And even this one, I'm going to get in here a little bit closer. This one's probably a little bit too long. So I want to leave this transition here, and I want to shorten this clip. So I'm going to trim this back, but even though that cut off the end of it right here, if I just use my slip tool and slip it that way, I can get it back.
Nope.
And now if we just soften this a bunch, then we won't hear that guitar coming in all weird.
Nope. It was right there.
So another thought with this, I'm going to just select this music and right click on it and disable it. So it's still there, but we have this other orchestral suspense sound that would be good for when this reveal. And that it'll probably change the feeling of our video a whole bunch if we put that in.
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
Okay.
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
And then we can consider like what we would do with we've got our Sunny Pop song here. It's kind of a terrible track. We also have this one. So I don't know which you would want to, which we want to use. Let's just watch this scene through with just our orchestral hits and nothing else.
Nope. It was right there. Right there. Right there. And now I don't know where it is. Sorry, I just can't help myself.
Okay, I like that. Let's just play another game of what if. What if we enabled this and let this music still play even with the orchestral hit?
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
So this is called, weaving your stuff together. Or I'm going to call it weaving your stuff together. Now, I would love to do something with this opening track. We could go in here and do some more editing and just take this first one and then go straight to this third one. Keep wanting to hit B for blade. All right. Now that we only have those two, let's see what happens to our timing of the end of that. It'll end it a little bit earlier, but I might be okay with that. Let's add the default transition there. Ooh, that's actually kind of a happy little accident. So let's do the ding right on this frame right here. Got to make sure we grab both of these. Zoom back in on this. Put that ding right there. All right, cool. So now that this is a little shorter, we can actually go in and shorten the timing of these. That's good. bring these closer together. Bring this closer together. Now I'm not gonna, you gotta be careful with stuff like this. If I now ripple delete this, it'll change the timing of all this stuff in the master. So I'm just gonna leave those right where they are and let that black be a little bit of black. All right, now I am going to delete this piece of black. Get this all to time together. All right, let's watch it from, well, all right, actually. Let's add a couple of titles at the end. Thanks for watching. Oh. This Weber State production. All right, cool. Thanks for watching this Weber State production. Cool. Last thing here at the end, or at the beginning, I want to make these a little bit more consistent. Now I separated these to add that cross dissolve so that they wouldn't cross dissolve one into the other. I actually wanted to dip out and then come in like that. All right, cool. I think we're ready to watch our video. Let's lengthen this out. Thanks for watching this Weber State production. All right, let's find a good place to cut to that. And let's end it right there. All right, let's make this sound a little bit better. All right, you could add a couple more titles to the end of this to lengthen that out, lengthen this video out, or you could cut this even shorter. Let's try. Ring. Let's go right here. I'm going to ripple this back. Whoop. Let's go. Whoop. Got to make this work here. Well, I could tweak that for a few more minutes, but let's just watch our whole scene and call this a lesson, shall we? When you're done, when you've got this all finished up, make sure you don't have any peaks in your audio, and export your video with your first and last name and then your missing LOL video, and submit only the video file using the MP4 5000 720p settings in the video that I showed you. The important thing here, if your video file for this gets to be larger than 100 megabytes, it's probably too big. Okay, this video file is only 1 minute and 20 seconds long. You should be able to have that be less than 100 megabytes. So if it's like a gig, it's way too big. You're using the wrong settings. So let's just watch it.
Kai, have you seen my LOL collection?
The tornado emergency alert takes you.
It's just waiting.
Nope.
But it was like
It was right there. Right there. Right there. And now I don't know where it is.
You want to watch this?
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
All right, so we watched it. Now, I'm just real quickly, I'm going to do the export settings, and then we'll finish this up, and then me and the kids will go have a hurricane day. All right, so Command M will open up your Make Media dialog box, and I am just going to send this to the render queue, and that'll open up Adobe Media Encoder. Now I have some presets that I've already made for the settings that I'm going to do, but I'm going to walk through them one more time, the ones that I want you to use, and then we'll take a look at how big the video file is at the end. This should open up pretty quick. I'm thinking this is probably going to be around 100 megabytes. All right, here's my media encoder. Let's delete those. All right, so if I go to my settings, by default it's match source high bitrate, right? So in the exporting video, I told you to make it 720p. Bye, love you. I'll be right out. And then I always do max render at maximum render depth. And then if you want to do a 2-pass, you can. But if we change this to 5, and then I can use maximum render quality, go to my audio tab, and I can change this bit rate to like 192 because that other one is too high, really high. And this estimated file size is 48 megabytes. Okay, so I'm going to click OK here. I'm going to click on my output file. This is my Save As dialog box. So I got my Web 2300, first day. Actually, this is missing LOL, drafts, and I'm going to call this one V01. And if I'm happy with it, I'll put it into a masters folder and then turn it in. So if I click save and then play, this should render out fairly quickly. Oh, that's not right. See these black bars on the side of this? That means I did something wrong. So I'll show you what that looks like when this is done. Let's go over to Finder and go to this drive, this Web 2300, missing LOL, drafts. Take a look at this. I changed my video size but didn't do it properly. All right. So this would not be acceptable, having these big black bars on the side. So let me go back over to Media Encoder, and instead of having to go back into Premiere, you can just right click on this and say Reset Status, and then go back to your settings. And what I did in the video tab was it stayed 1920 and I changed it to 720, but for some reason it didn't change both of them. Oh, that's why they weren't linked. So if I go 1080 here. I need to make sure that my dimensions are linked when I do this. 720. That way it'll change it to 1280. 1280 by 720. So now if I click OK, I can make this version 2. Render it out. It's going nice and quick because I have a nice quick computer. As soon as that's done, I'll check my file size, make sure it looks good. Done rendering. Look at it. It's 43.9 megabytes. And if I push play, there's the video. All right, and it plays. Make sure it plays all the way to the end because of that whole workspace. If you had a render work area set here, you might only export that part of the video, but take a look at the exporting video for that. All right, so this 48 megabyte file is what you upload for submitting that to Canvas. All right, we're gonna go have a hurricane party for the rest of the day. Have a great one.